Welcome to Lesson 3. Let's talk about protein-rich foods and fats. All right, so this group consists of fish and seafood of all types, meat, game, pork, poultry, eggs. Milk and milk products are also their own group, but they also deserve a shared spot in this group. And then we've got protein powder of all types. Foods shared in other groups due to their major protein contribution. Like I mentioned, there's milk and milk products. And then pulses from legumes, in other words, beans, lentils, and peas. This also can qualify for the meat slash protein rich food groups. And the nutrition they provide. So, in addition to protein, important nutrient contributions include B vitamins like niacin, vitamin B12, B6, and riboflavin, selenium, choline, phosphorus, zinc, copper, vitamin D, and vitamin E. The nutrients provided by various types of protein foods differ. So, for example, meats provide the most zinc, poultry provides the most niacin. Meats, poultry, and seafood provide heme iron, which is the more bioavailable form of iron than non-heme iron found in plant sources. Seafood provides the most vitamin B12 and vitamin D, in addition to essential fatty acids, EPA and DHA. These are omega 3s, and these omega 3 fatty acids are underconsumed at the public or population level. Eggs provide the most choline, and soy products are a source of copper, manganese, and iron, as are legumes slash pulses. So hopefully you're beginning to gain an appreciation for why it's important to consume a variety of foods within each group, because each food species houses its own unique nutritional profile and benefits. All right, so let's take a look at the fat and fat-rich foods group. This group consists of nuts and nut butters, seeds, and seed products like tahini. If any one of you has not had tahini yet, I recommend you give it a shot. Ooh, it's good. Avocados, olives, coconuts, and then we have oils. Oils are several. This is an incomplete list, but some of the in quotes healthy ones are olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, in particular, extra virgin coconut oil, canola oil, sesame oil, etc. Land animal based fats such as butter, lard, and beef tallow are also used, but they have a poorer track record for positively affecting health outcomes, especially when directly compared to polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fat sources. And there is a kind of an undercurrent right now of skepticism about whether or not things like lard and beef fat and butter are dietary agents of disease. And really, the devil is in the dose. These are not bad foods, but if you commit to eating large amounts of them while kicking out the other fat sources, which I mentioned, which have consistently positive effects in the literature on cardiometabolic outcomes, then you're asking for trouble. They function in a myriad of ways, but they memorably facilitate the absorption of fat soluble vitamins, specifically A, D, E, and K. And some are also sources of vitamin E, as well as sources of essential fatty acids, namely linoleic acid and the plant based alpha linolenic acid. Fats in general contribute to sex hormone production, among a myriad of other physiological functions that are important to many bodily systems. The conversation about fat intake and sex hormone production has been had throughout the course of past modules in this course. But memorably, a systematic review by Whitaker and colleagues looked at the effect of low fat diets on testosterone levels and found that Well, lower fat intakes result in lower testosterone levels. And it's usually this threshold of about 25% of total calories where we see lower production of testosterone compared to higher fat intakes in the 40-ish percent range of total calories. This doesn't mean that you have to strive for a high fat diet in order to have healthy sex hormone levels, but it is some good food for thought for people who are struggling to increase their testosterone levels. That's not going to happen optimally if you're constantly low-balling dietary fat. And by the way, um, there is some research showing that low dietary fat levels also result in lower estrogen levels. So all of that is referenced at the bottom with those PMIDs or PubMed identifiers. And anytime you see those references at the bottom where it says PMIDs, and it shows a bunch of numbers. If you ever want to look something up, just run a Google search on PMID, and then one of those numbers. It's usually like an 8-digit or 7-digit number, and then you can look up each of those studies that I cite at the bottom. Okay, so an important side note: fatty fish such as mackerel, sardines, salmon, herring, trout, they hold an automatic place in the protein food group because of their protein content, but they also contribute significantly, and without supplementation, arguably they contribute crucially to the EPA/DHA content of diets that optimize health. So the plant-based omega-3 fatty acid called alpha-linolenic acid has a comparatively low conversion rate to what we're trying to get, which is EPA and DHA. And in the plant world, it is particularly hard to get DHA as a conversion product from plant-based omega-3 or alpha-linolenic acid. So for people who go fully plant-based, fully vegan, then it can become important to get a good EPA and even more important DHA supplement. You can get that through algal oil if you are a vegan. And with that, we kind of blew through that pretty quickly. You may want to review the small details of these food lessons. But once you've done that, I'll see you back on lesson 4, where we talk about fibrous vegetables and starch foods.